Ladies and gentlemen, Convocation is now in session. As Chancellor, it's my pleasure to welcome you to our 293rd Convocation. To all our graduates, first let me say congratulations. You have worked hard to achieve this, and graduation represents a major milestone in your lives. At Convocation, we assemble as a university community, the University of Western Ontario community, to celebrate and to recognize your achievements at Western and to wish you every success in the future. However, your learning days are far from over. Learning is a lifelong process, and Western has not provided you with answers to all questions. At most, we hope that what stays with you is a way of thinking objectively and approaching problems with an open mind and a healthy respect for new ideas, all tempered with compassion and empathy for the human condition. You are forever a cherished member of this great university, founded more than a century ago, and we welcome you into the Western family. Again, congratulations to each and every one of you. Today, we also confer an honorary degree upon Sheila Watt-Cloutier in acknowledgement of her contributions as an activist on behalf of Canadian Inuit peoples and on behalf of our physical and social environment. And I am delighted to welcome her to this convocation, and to present our distinguished candidate, I now call upon Principal Gerald Killen, King's University College.
Sheila Watt-Cloutier. Sheila Watt-Cloutier rose to national prominence upon being nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize in 2007 for her efforts to draw to the world's attention the impact of climate change in the Arctic, where global warming is being felt more dramatically and sooner than anywhere else. Ms. Watt-Cloutier has been lauded in all the Canadian media as a national hero, in Time magazine as a climate crusader, and even in Rolling Stone magazine as an emissary for the 155,000 Inuit of the circumpolar region. Ms. Watt-Cloutier lived the traditional Inuit life as a child, traveling exclusively by dog team while growing up in Nunavik in northern Quebec. At age 10, she moved south to attend school. Eventually, studies in sociology and psychology with McGill University provided her with an educational background in counseling, education, and human development. Upon returning to Nunavik, Ms. Watt-Cloutier had to relearn her native language before involving herself in a variety of health and social issues. Among other things, she coordinated the Nunavik Educational Task Force for the reform of the region's educational system, and in 1998 co-wrote and co-directed the youth awareness video capturing the spirit, the Inuit Journey. Ms. Watt-Cloutier entered the political arena in 1995 when she was elected head of the Inuit Circumpolar Conference Canada, a post she retained until 2002. During this period, she became a spokesperson for a coalition of Indigenous people who negotiated successfully for the 2001 Stockholm Convention, which banned the creation and use of persistent organic pollutants, contaminants of the Arctic food chain that cause infertility, cancer, and brain damage in the Inuit who subsisted on their traditional hunt. From 2002 to 2006, Ms. Watt-Cloutier served as chair of the International Inuit Circumpolar Conference, representing Inuit in Canada, Alaska, Russia, and Greenland, and turned her focus to the threat of climate change in the Arctic and the dangers it posed to her people. In December 2005, based on the findings of the Arctic Climate Impact Assessment, a 4-year research project involving some 300 scientists from 15 countries and incorporating traditional knowledge of the Inuit elders and hunters, the Inuit Circumpolar Conference launched the first international legal action on climate change. Ms. Watt-Cloutier made the case that the scientific studies established irrefutably the harmful effects of global warming on Arctic geology, wildlife, human health, and culture. That the Arctic was warming at nearly twice the rate as the rest of the planet was an early barometer of how the entire world would be affected. The Inuit Circumpolar Conference petitioned the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights. Sheila Watt-Cloutier signed her name as the principal plaintiff, claiming that the destruction of the Arctic environment and cultural economy of the Inuit, caused principally by carbon emissions from the United States, violated the 1948 American Declaration of the Rights and Duties of Man. Ms. Watt-Cloutier testified before the Commission in March 2007 during its first hearings investigating the connection between climate change and human rights. In April 2008, the United Nations recognized climate change as a human rights issue for all vulnerable and indigenous people of the world. For her leadership and activism, Ms. Watt-Cloutier has received myriad awards and honors. Her Canadian honors include the 2004 National Aboriginal Achievement Award, the first Governor General's Northern Medal in 2005, installation as an Officer of the Order of Canada in 2006, and 9 honorary degrees by 2008, and climbing. On the international stage, Ms. Watt-Cloutier's work has been no less recognized. Since 2005, she has been given the $100,000 Sophie Prize from Norway's Sophie Foundation, the Champions of the Earth Award from the United Nations Environmental Program, the Rachel Carson Prize, and the Mahbub ul Haq Award bestowed by the United Nations on, and I quote here, a world leader who has successfully put human development at the heart of the national development agenda in his or her country. Mr. Chancellor, on behalf of the Vice Chancellor and in the name of the Senate, I ask you to confer the degree Doctor of Laws honoris causa upon Sheila Watt-Cloutier, advocate of human rights for Aboriginal peoples, social activist extraordinaire, and a genuine Canadian hero.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as Chancellor, I admit you to the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa. Congratulations, Dr. Watt-Cloutier. This is for you. On behalf of all assembled here today, I should now like to invite our newest alumna, Dr. Sheila Watt-Cloutier, to address Convocation.
Mr. Chancellor, Mr. President, honored guests, and the 2009 graduates of the King's College, University College at the University of Western Ontario, parents, grandparents, ladies and gentlemen, I am deeply honored to receive this honorary Doctorate of Laws and to address you here today in London. I flew down from the Arctic last night, and it is a real joy to be here with you today. And today I'd like to begin a conversation about the great changes now occurring here in Canada and how there is no better time for our nation to retake principled leadership. Your generation will inherit decisions made now by our leaders. Becoming active in these changes now will ensure the best future for all of us. And to begin with, I will share some context of the Arctic and walk you through the Arctic story and the people and how that has been affected by all of the local decisions. Inuit are an extraordinary people. For those of you who have not been to the Arctic, I can attest to that, and I feel very blessed that I was born into this remarkable culture. We have weathered the storm of modernization remarkably well, moving from an almost entirely traditional way of life to adopting this modern world, all within the last 60 to 70 years. And understandably, the speed of these changes have knocked us off our balance. And often you will see that depicted in what you read in the South. But I want to tell you a little bit more about our world. We are a people that historically were amongst the most independent and self-sufficient peoples. But we lost a lot of the control over our lives as a result of this tumultuous change and multiple historical traumas. Together, these rapid changes and traumas deeply wounded and spirited many and translated into a collective pain for many families and for many of our communities. And what you read often is, of course, the result of all of this: the substance abuse, the health problems, and the loss of so many of our young people to suicide. But through it all, we have had our land, we've had our predictable environment and our climate, and the wisdom of our hunters and elders gained over millennia to help us to adapt. Today, our environment and our climate are not so predictable. We remain a hunting people of the land, the ice, and the snow, and the process of the hunt and the land are, for our youth, much like a university education which you yourselves here have been receiving in the last few years. Not only do they teach the technical hunting skills in our world, they, just as importantly, the wisdom of the land teaches our children the character skills, the life skills, such as patience, courage, determination, persistence, and how to be reflective. They learn to be focused and strategic and to take the right survival-based risks under the right conditions at the right time. And our youth learn to control their impulses, to withstand and cope with stressful situations, to develop sound judgment and ultimately wisdom. And they learn also, just as important, who they are in terms of their sense of identity and their self-worth, and their self-esteem and confidence are built as they become proficient as providers and natural conservationists. So our hunting culture is not only relevant for survival on the land, it teaches crucial life skills and wisdom that are transferable to the modern world. And many Inuit who have acquired and continue to practice these traditional skills are in large part making it in the modern world, because one way of life does not have to be at a cost to another. And I share this story with you so that you understand that it is much more than the melting of the ice and snow in the Arctic that we need to focus on, but we need to focus on the human aspects. And so this ability to recover from these historical traumas and to stand on our own feet as a people is now challenged by rapid climate changes. And we face dangerously unpredictable weather, unpredictable conditions of our ice and snow, extreme erosion, and an invasion of new species. And we know that these changes threaten to erase the memory of who we are, where we have come from, and all that we wish to be. So I ask you all, what would you have done if the best science in the world, correlated by our hunters, who are also scientists in their own right, projected that climate change had the potential to make your ancient culture, which is so rooted in balanced sustainability, just a footnote in the history of globalization? Faced with this question, I felt very compelled to make this pioneering connection between climate change and human rights globally. And this led us to launch that historical petition to the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights. and the legal petition that our rights to our lands, our food security, our health, our very culture are guaranteed by the 1948 American Declaration on the Rights and Duties of Man. Because remember, the ice and snow for us Inuit represents mobility and transportation more than anywhere else in the world. And once that starts to go as a result of climate change, it immediately becomes an issue of safety and security. The petition called for a declaration that the United States, the greatest emitter of greenhouse gases, has violated those rights by causing climate change and by refusing to participate in a global solution. But our petition was more than a legal document. I have always said it was a gift, an act of generosity, an early warning from the people from the top of the globe, uniquely positioned from a unique vantage point to witness its changes to a world now very divided and disconnected. I have always said it was the most caring act that I have ever brought forth in the protection of my cultural heritage and the protection of the future of my 11-year-old grandson, as he now learns both the technical and the character-building life skills on the land and the ice with his young father. Even as we Inuit emerge from this tumultuous change, a second wave, as we all know and we hear about, we read about in the papers so recently, is this new rush for the Arctic's resources, which has the potential to do even more damage if our generation, as well as yours, fails to make human-centered sustainability its priority. Nations now look north to the newly available shipping routes and the resources beneath our melting Arctic, and have even begun to posture and threaten as they assert claims to the Arctic. As your generation makes the decisions that impact both our Arctic and our global environment, I urge you to work from a place of principles and ethics as you help shape our nation's future. This is your generation that we look to. We must all become involved and ensure that our own governments retakes national and international leadership on climate change and peaceful cooperation in the Arctic. And as all you continue this conversation, I hope that you will never forget that the people and planet are connected through our shared atmosphere and our shared humanity. And so receiving this honor and blessed with having been born into this ancient culture, I urge you all to look to the Arctic as the early warning. Late for us, but yet there's still time for us to act on this and send this early warning to our world of the consequences of forgetting our deep connectedness, whether that connectedness is to nature, whether it's to our food sources, to our environment, but of course, to each other. Your generation will be called upon to balance what is now moving quickly to a tipping point. And this is a result of the choices my generation and the generations before have made, whether it was in our homes, our workplaces, our cities, or our nations. The world will seek your leadership on the judgments and wise decisions you will face ahead. And I urge you never, never to accept limitations, whether they be technological, whether they be scientific or political, on what you can achieve together, and never underestimate the power that connects us all. We must rise to this challenge before us, not as separate from one another, and well beyond as simply fellow Canadians, but certainly as a shared humanity. So thank you for this honor today. Nakomik, thank you.
Dr. Watt-Cloutier, thank you for a truly inspiring address. Your voice has been among the strongest over many years in advocating the culture and values of Canada's North and its Indigenous peoples. and in helping us to understand the lives of those people in relation to their physical environment. You have helped unite the interests of all who are concerned with preserving our Arctic heritage, which we share with Inuit communities throughout the circumpolar region, including in Greenland, Alaska, and Russia. Through your words today and your life's work, you have shown us the importance of courage and persistence, and the need to be reflective and strategic as we confront the challenges facing Northern peoples around the globe. All Canadians take great pride in your leadership of causes we all should share, and it is particularly gratifying to welcome you to Western today as our newest honorary alumna. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating once again Dr. Sheila Watt-Cloutier.
At this time, I take pleasure in asking Dr. Barbara Decker-Pierce of King's University College to present the recipient of the King's University College Award for Excellence in Teaching.
Dr. Su Ming Kwok. Mr. Chancellor, the School of Social Work at King's is privileged to have a number of exceptional teachers among its full-time and sessional faculty. Teachers who care deeply about the academic success and professional preparation of competent and caring social workers. This year, one of our excellent social work faculty, Dr. Su Ming Kwok, has the honor of receiving the King's University College Award for Excellence in Teaching. Since joining our faculty in 2004, his students have consistently commented on his enthusiasm, his openness, and concern for their learning. They particularly note his approachable teaching style, which achieves the proper balance between the delivery of content and the development of independent and critical thinking. On top of all of this, Dr. Kwok has a wonderful sense of humor, and it makes his teaching style very approachable. His commitment to the teacher-scholar model, a commitment shared by his colleagues in the social work program, demonstrates the best in university teaching, and we are pleased to present Dr. Kwok with this well-deserved teaching award.
Su Ming, congratulations. Very good award. Nice to hear. Have a certificate for you. Thank you. I now take pleasure in asking Dr. Sabro Camilletti of King's University College to present to Convocation King's newly appointed Professor Emerita and Professor Emeritus.
Mr. Chancellor, it is my pleasure to present Professor John Orange. Professor John Orange, a specialist in Canadian literature, came to King's in 1970. Engaged, pragmatic, and respected by students, he soon became one of a group of pioneers who shaped our modern college. He introduced the formal study of film, women's studies, and Canadian literature to our catalog of courses, and chaired the Department of Modern Languages on 2 occasions. In the classroom, he sought to develop in his students a different view of themselves and others, as well as a sense of place, time, tradition, and culture. As a researcher, he was fascinated by the intersections of literature with other disciplines, and published monographs and articles on Ernest Buckler, P.K. Page, Farley Mowat, Morley Callahan, Hugh Hood, Alice Munro, and others. In the community, he worked with the St. Thomas Book Club for 35 years, introducing over 130 novels and films to its members. Mr. Chancellor, may I present Professor Emeritus John Orange.
Congratulations. Wonderful record. Thank you.
Mr. Chancellor, it is my pleasure to present Dr. Ruth Compton Brower. Dr. Ruth Compton Brower, a Canadian historian, joined the Department of History at King's in 1993. A prominent researcher, she published 2 books and numerous articles on women's experience in the overseas missionary movement, and is preparing a book on CUSO, the former Canadian University Service Overseas Development Agency. Renowned for her tremendous integrity, competence, and diligence, she consistently conveyed her love and enthusiasm for history to her students. Dr. Brower chaired the History Department on 2 occasions, was a long-serving member of the Research Grants Committee, participated in the Women's History Reading Group at Western since 1993, and chaired the selection committee for the annual winner of the Floyd Chalmers Award for the Best New Book in Ontario History. She presently serves on the editorial board of Historical Studies and Education and is involved with the Canadian Historical Association and the Canadian Society of Church History. Mr. Chancellor, may I present Professor Emerita Ruth Compton Brower.
Congratulations. Wonderful award for you. Congratulations. Please take that.
Will the candidates for degrees please stand? Mr. Chancellor, I am honored to present to you the candidates who have successfully completed their academic programs at Western. I ask you to admit them to the degrees and diplomas for which they have been recommended by the Senate of the University.
Under the authority vested in me by the Senate, you will be admitted to the degrees and diplomas as shall be announced by the public orators.
Will the candidates please be seated? Mr. Chancellor, graduating students, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, Convocation is the single most important time of celebration in the life of the University of Western Ontario. Today we honor those graduating students who through determination, hard work, and intelligence have met the demanding standards of a Western degree. We also honor their families, including their parents, spouses, and children who have played such an important role in helping our graduating students to reach the milestone which our ceremony today represents. Western's 3 affiliated colleges, Brescia University College, Huron University College, and King's University College, bring a special dimension to the undergraduate experience at Western. They provide a liberal arts college community environment within the larger context of a major research university. Their faculty and students have access to all the resources that a university the scale of Western can provide, while enabling them to sustain the academic and social community fostered by their own distinct identities. Today is a proud day for all of us associated with Western, including our Board of Governors and Senate, our faculty, our staff, and our many friends in the community. I am very pleased by the presence today of so many members of this community of learning who have gathered to celebrate this important day in the lives of our graduates, and the life of the university. Those who graduate today will soon be joining a very special group, Western alumni, who number some 240,000 people around the world. Jim Etherington, past president of the Alumni Association, is here today, and I would ask him please to stand and be recognized. Western's Board of Governors is charged with responsibility for the overall governance of this institution. Today we have with us Mr. John Nash, representing the board, an outstanding board member and a committed community leader in London. I would ask him please to stand and be recognized. Though affiliated with the University of Western Ontario, each of the colleges has autonomous governing boards. We have with us today Mr. Henry Thuss, the chair of the King's University College Board of Directors, and I would ask him please to stand and be recognized. Let me offer a special thank you to all of the parents, spouses, children, relatives, and friends who are here today to join in our celebration of academic achievement. Without your support, our graduates, in many cases, might not have been able to complete their academic programs. So I ask that our graduating students please rise once again, turn around and face your family and friends, and give them a round of applause for the love and support that made this day possible. Now let me congratulate once again the remarkable women and men who graduate today with Western degrees. Today you become partners in the outstanding academic achievements of the University of Western Ontario. I charge you then, as graduates of a distinguished Canadian institution, never to forget the great benefits you have acquired in this place, and to remember always that wherever you go, you carry with you the good names of the University of Western Ontario and King's University College. This will be my last week of convocation at Western. On June 30, I will retire after being your president for 15 years. During that time, I have watched our university transformed by the dedication and hard work of faculty, staff, students, and alumni. I offer them all my most profound thanks. And to those who graduate today, my warmest wishes to each and every one of you. Before we proceed with the ceremonies, I have two special requests for those of you in the audience. First, please withhold your applause for the graduates crossing the platform until each group of graduates has received degrees. This will ensure that every graduate receives our full courtesy throughout the ceremony. Second, we know that photographs are an important memory of this occasion to the graduates and their family and friends. To ensure you in the audience have the best opportunity to get good pictures, I ask that you do the following. When your special graduate is about 40 names in the program from crossing the stage, that's 40, please proceed to the area along the wall to my right, over there, and the ushers will guide you forward in order that you may capture your special moments on camera. I now call on the public orators to introduce the candidates for degrees.
Mr. Chancellor, the following are candidates from King's University College for the degree Bachelor or Baccalaureate of Arts honors programs. Amber Abram, Christina Alexander, Laura Emily Grace Allen. Stephanie Amaral, Daniel John Aristone, Kathleen Lacey Arner. Gerald Austin, Allison Barfett, Amanda Barker. Leanne Bast, Katrina Balia, Mark Belsheim. Curtis Bozek, Kristen Samantha Burns, Carolyn Kamen, gold medalist. Danny Catunto, Monica Joanne Ciriello, Joseph Patrick Charnish. Kevin Collins, Luis Carlos Cortez Largo, Stephanie Cox. Hillary Amelia Cunningham, Catherine Day, Wendy Dendunnen. Michelle Desirud, Lisa Mario DeVito, Tasha DeLoretto. James Doby, Allison Doucette, Jessica Dubois. Marcella Eunice Duran, Amy Edwards, Heidi Elliott. Spencer Stephen Ennis, Siobhan Enright, Jacob Ernewine. Danielle Ferguson, Colleen Allison Fisher, Caitlin Marie Fitzpatrick. Sean Patrick Flattery, Fabiana Fagaganoli, Brandon Fox. Jamie Lynn Fraser, Alicia French, Jeffrey Gold. Brianne Emma Geddes, Matthew Gabriel Giannotti, Julia Ann Gibson. Maria Luisa Giovanetti, Sarah Gleason, Chris Goff. Cameron Brian Gordon, Ciara Lynn Goujon, Stephanie Graham. Stephen James Ray Granger, Taylor Hall, Danielle Clarissa Constance Hambley. Jessica Regan Hanavan, Kristen Harris, Arij Hassan. Jennifer Herman, Samantha Hogue, Monique Horman. Stephanie Horn, Ro-Ching Huang, Lindsay Humphrey. Larissa Husarowicz, Melissa Inglis, Lisa Michelle Irvine. Timothy Johnson, Allison Kasmarzik, Yorisa Kawamoto. Jennifer Amanda Keats, Paul Kim, Radmila Kondich. Lilka Isabel Krempien, Adam Lee, Scott Leith. Courtney Lavert, Carolyn Sarah Levin, Mingda Lee. Shuzi Liu, Chantel S.A. Lloyd, Jeffrey Lowe. Martha Ludlow, Elizabeth Looney, Laura May McDermott. Renee Mahoney, Adam Malloy, Vanessa Marsman. Paula Martin, Jenna Renee Martinuzzi, Lindsay McGee. Juliana May McGrenery, Laura Mejia, Mark William Melchers. Eric Simon Mendez, Diana Lynn Marie Milanovich, Diego Armando Moreno Diaz. Eric Naranovich, Krista Leanne Norris, Isabel Iran Sanjamana, Sierra O'Bry, Christopher James O'Neill, Patrick Ouellette, Julia Parker, Dominique Peters, Elizabeth Prisnock, Ashley Quinn, Alyssa Amanda Rawlings, Monica Dawn Ree. Danielle Richter, Mallory Ricard, Jessica Amy Riggs. I know, no worries. Elizabeth Robinson, Shay Roby Barnes, Lisa Rowland. Zachary Christian Alexander Romilovich, Courtney Rubsum, Scott Hugh Russell. Jacqueline Schenk, Nathan Sears, Nicole Sedgwick. Priya Shastri, Pengfei Shi, Mackenzie Smith. Good. Caitlin Sokol, Michael Sprague, Jessica Lynn Steele. Megan Lorraine Steers, Siki Sue, Catherine Elizabeth Saltzla. Jennifer Thompson, Rachel Thompson, Mai Trang Tran. Simonas Trompiskas, Kostadina Tsirakos, Jennifer Van Dyke. Victoria Van Hugenhuis, Stephanie Vigilante, Jennifer Walsh. Justin Watkin, Sarah Elizabeth Watson, Brittany Weaver. Ashley Westbrook, Erica Wendels, Craig Williamson. Brendan John Wilson, Samantha Wisnicki, Jamie Woodhouse. Laura Woodley, Allison Marie Workman, Jianfeng Shi.
Mr. Chancellor, following our candidates for the degree Bachelor or Baccalaureate of Management and Organizational Studies in the Honors Program. Christopher Bailey, Jassim Bangara, Juan Barrientos. Kyle Bräuninger, Nicole Bruni, Yu Chang. Kylene Channer, Roger Claveau, Ray Ding. Mallory Foster. Chechen Go. Chunyao Go. Okay. Jinye Hu. Rong Jin. Ryan Kelleher. Joanna Kozak. Lei Liu. Corey Martin. Megan McLaughlin. Blaine Mendola. Sebastian Morgan. D. Mu. James Patrick New. Stephen Pirak. Saloni Siroya. Kyle Spooner. David Stranjo. Ziyi Sun. Linda Tran. Catherine Waring. Michelle Williams, gold medalist. Shu Jung. Mr. Chancellor, the following are candidates for the degree Bachelor or Baccalaureate of Social Work Honors. Fanai Abera, Christina Baker, Veronica Basha. Manon Bless, Jessica Buford, Jeffrey Buchanan. Pauline Elizabeth Marguerite Cardinal. Poonam Chabra. Lisa Couchman. Melissa Dieknibber, Monica Fox, Dana Glass. Revatni Kneeson, Dana Lawrence, Ashley Victoria Lunde. Juliana Migunova, Rachel Paula Passy, Eva Paz. Maria Giovanna Pintus, Deborah Jean Pretty, Catherine Reed. Lisa Schmuck, Unyoung Song, Cindy Lou Templeman. Amanda Walsh, Courtney Melissa Watson, Andrea Lynn Veschler. Okay. Aaron Woodworth, Sarah Woolnow. Mr. Chancellor, the following are candidates for the degree Bachelor or Baccalaureate of Administrative and Commercial Studies or Management and Organizational Studies. Brian Alexander, Julia Bacnio, Danielle Chung. Michael Covelli, Christina Marie DiVincenzo, Ashley Dixon. Sami Bashir Hamed, Abbas Hassan, Bradley Hawkins. Ryan Hay, Andy Wee, Adil Hijaz. Peter James, Peter Jasinski, Jeffrey Conan. Jeffrey Kula, Michelle J. LaRochelle, Shu Yu Liu. Jordan McCloskey, Iris Ileana Marino, Imtiaz Natu. Brett Parker, Vlad Kostin Pabaloyu, Salvatore Peralta. Ashley Christina Pokluda, Linda Sadiku, Cindy Van Brie. Maxine Wang, Yvonne Weaven, Yifeng Zhu.
Mr. Chancellor, the following are candidates for the degree Bachelor or Baccalaureate of Arts four-year program. Omar Al-Azim, Jessica Annunziello, Amy Elizabeth Askew, Tara Marie Bell, Shaughnessy Burfelt, Sean Bester, Alicia Billings, Nicholas Bishop, Diane Borges, Aaliyah Brace, Gregory David Broadhead, Sean Brown, Alexis Brudnicki, Kyra Brun, Vanessa Byrne, Lindsay Cabrera, Stacy Carpenter, Alina Cernia. Irtiza Hassan, Carmen Chilton, Lee Chamara. Renee Corriveau, Shanna Cruz, Leanne Cunningham. Elizabeth Dahl, Joanne Marie Nicole Alessandra Darville, Michael DeCola,
Ladies and gentlemen, it's not fair to the candidates who are coming after the screams. We can't hear their names, so please keep your outbursts down.
Paul Durand, Amanda Dwyer, Ashley Eddy. Stephen Edwardson, Veronica Pamela Elder, Jason English. Catherine Fifield, Alvin Albert Forbes, gold medalist. Jennifer Frost. Matthew Garreau, Laurel Graves, Haley Gray. Danielle Joy Guter, Rebecca Hamilton, Lauren Harris. Shafik Hawari, Laura Hedges, Jennifer Hodgert. Carissa Houle, Christine Howcroft, gold medalist. Lauren Hughes. Erin Marie Intvin, Michael Frederick Ronald Isaac, Jillian Jakubowski, Elspeth Jones, Diana Katia, Elizabeth Kinsella, Jonathan Kirk, Alicia Quinn, Jennifer Laba, Colin James Laforme, Ashley Lamb, Jordan Elizabeth Lang, Darren Lee, Robert Joseph Logue, Sarah Lovell, Sarah Evelyn McCauley, Anthony Mancini, Tanya Mardinley, Caitlin Mathers, Caitlin Marie McCune, Jessica McLemoyle, Monica Dos Santos Mendez, Ryan Messier, Stephanie Meyer, Jennifer Miller, Catherine Ann Mills, Giselle Mufasoni, Robin Neal, Shelby Suzanne Nettleton, Christina Noble, Jennifer Osteyan, Richard Palango, Vincent Panapinto, Aaron Parsons, Lindsay Erin Christine Parton, Michelle Pettit, Jonathan Pylon, Catherine Ann Powers, Alina Shibilak, Daniel Jordan Legault Quintal, Alexander Rathi, Catherine Marie Regan, Natalie Romine, Vanessa Rondinelli, Patrick Roncio, Sarah Ross, Agatha Magdalena Ribka, Megan Elizabeth Sapsford, Lisa Silva, Kara Nicole Small, Kylie Smeets, Carrie Smith, Allison Solomon, Lee Rita Mary Snyder, Michael Anthony Souza, Cindy Spindler, Jarrett Spreet, Anna Lise Victoria Staples, Jocelyn Lee Swindon, Laura Talbot, Megan Thomas, Courtney Thornborough, Lisa Pauline Timms, Sarah Trottier, Monica Vanderhyde, Catherine Marie Vanderhayden, Haley Van High, Lindsay Vanis, Kelly Vincent, Alexia Jurdel Virgil, Vanessa Wah, Chambo Huen, April Whiting, Laura Marie Whitney, David Yoon. Mr. Chancellor, the following are candidates for the degree Bachelor or Baccalaureate of Arts: Asma Abdulatif, Nicole Almeida, Mohammed Ashad. Maria Angelica Avila, Adam Balog, Caitlin Blake, Lauren Brahel, Bennett Brown, Carly Bryden, gold medalist. Christine Kammert, Lisa Cox, Cynthia Crete, Natalie Davidson, Robert Eric Day, Jana Derrick, Danielle Marie DiVincenzo, Deanna Dobson, Hannah Elabed, Mark Fania, Laura Furman, Christopher Fromani, Neve Garrity, Laura Ellen Harris, Brent Hebert, Blaine Kidney, Rebecca Clagus, Margaret Knight, Devin Landon, Vanessa Law, Kyle LeBlanc, Scott Mayer, Carol Mardenley, Bridget Marks. Michael Mattersky, Amanda McGooey, Margaret McNaughton. Robert Mills, Gabriel Naumovich, Melissa Nezoil. Kyla Michelle Omer Ellis, Alessandra Opadizano, M. Jordan Prinzi, David Douglas Marshall, posthumously represented by his father, Douglas. Andrew David Randolph Sasso, Joaline Scully, Robert Joseph Shaw, Brian Skinner, Megan Skinner, Caitlin Squires, Danielle Steves, Amanda Sterling, Ki Wang, Mona Wasim, Mark Wanker, Ryan Ellsworth Wilson, Emma Woods, Ziyi Zhao, Shengdong Yang, Mr. Chancellor, the following is a candidate for the Certificate in Grief and Bereavement Studies. Shirley Gladys Leroy.
In the name of the Senate, I grant to the registrar the authority to confer degrees and diplomas to those candidates whose names appear in the official program but who are not present today. At this time, I'd like to invite Mr. Jim Etherington, representing our Alumni Association, to say a few words.
Thank you, Mr. Chancellor. There will indeed be a few words. On behalf of Alumni Western, I welcome you as a full-time member, and of course on behalf of King's Alumni Association, so you get a double whammy. This means, as Dr. Davenport said, there's unique characteristics of our affiliated colleges, and that extends to the alumni side as well. As a member of Alumni Western, you're entitled to all the rights and privileges, access to the programs and services, and I urge you to take advantage of them. There's some good deals there. And you'll have similar kinds of support and links with Alumni Kings. And in that regard, I remind you of a reception at Labatt Hall for you and your guests and your family members immediately following these ceremonies. And I leave you with a final wish. Have a great life.
Before closing convocation, I'd like to express my appreciation to all who have contributed to the success of the day. In particular, and on your behalf as well, I want to thank the University of Western Ontario Convocation Brass for their magnificent performance and their director, Professor James Mackay. And may I request that the audience remain at their seats while the academic procession leaves the hall. Convocation is now adjourned.